Now we're going to take a look at how to make an image black and white. One of the ways that you can make it black and white. So we take a look at this photograph. It has really nice contrast. The colors look vibrant. There are shadows, there's highlight, there's midtones. So we're going to change this right now into black and white. So on your adjustment layer palette, you're going to choose the black and white adjustment layer button. Notice it adds an adjustment layer onto our layer. But now as we take a look at the photograph, notice that the contrast seems a little bit more flat than it did before. So what we can do is we can turn our photograph into a black and white that has good contrast. And you can use each one of these sliders if you know what these colors are going to do in your photograph. But what I like to use is our little adjustment hand. So if we use this hand, say I want the lips to be a little bit darker, they seem to be a little bit washed out. When I bring the eyedropper over to the lips and I click and drag to the left, notice that the red slider moves. No other sliders move. And anything that has any kind of red tint to it darkens as well. Now if you remember, these glasses were turquoise, and say we wanted these to be a little bit darker, if I click and drag to make these darker, notice that only the cyan slider is moving because they're turquoise. So taking a look at your photograph, you can adjust this at any time. You can go back and forth between making things brighter, making things darker, and wherever you happen to click and drag, whatever color that's associated with that area will be adjusted independently, which gives you a lot of flexibility. So now that we're at this point, what we can do is we can bring some of the color back if you wanted to for a splash of color. So adjustment layers work with black and white. So the adjustment is always white. And if you want to kind of erase the black and white and bring back the color, we would paint with black. So we're going to use our default black and white, and I'm going to switch it. I'm going to pick up my brush. I'm going to make it about maybe 80% fuzzy, just because I think a slightly fuzzy brush looks a little bit better than a completely hard edge brush. It blends better. And all you're going to do is go ahead and paint right into your photograph. Now if you happen to paint a little bit more than you were anticipating and you make a mistake, not only could you use your history palette, but what you could also do is, since we're painting with black, and remember the adjustment is white, all you would do is paint back with white and it will get rid of any of that color and add back in the black and white. Okay, so say I mess up, I'm going to switch my colors to white, paint right back over it, and it adds that adjustment right back in. You can even take your black and white adjustment layer and on your layers palette adjust the opacity to kind of give it that vintagey look that dulls out the color just a little bit if you wanted to.